This is a message for the big feelers out there, the highly sensitive people, the empaths. And if you're not sure if you fall into that category, a highly sensitive person is not somebody who's just going to get insulted and cry really easily. That's a total misconception. A highly sensitive person often experiences noises and lights and crowds as very loud and bright and overwhelming, more than the average person. And empaths are also highly sensitive people. An empath also, with that going on, also has the ability to feel the moods of other people around them and feel that in their own body as though they are also experiencing that mood. And there's a lot of people who are identifying themselves as an empath or a highly sensitive person right now. And it can be overwhelming for everything to be so much more loud and intrusive and kind of jolting on the nervous system. Some people are born like this. Some people have become a little bit more like this as a result of trauma. And even after doing a lot of trauma healing, you can still be left with a highly sensitive nervous system. So this vision that I had, it wasn't actually in an ayahuasca ceremony, but I do notice that if I am working with the energy and the spirit of ayahuasca as far as being in meditation and bringing those music, those healing music from the ayahuasca into my meditation session, often I can go into a place where I can see visions that have the flavor or the same type of atmosphere on a muted down level as the ayahuasca ceremonies. So I had this visionary experience that was not just a seeing visionary experience, but it was also felt very strongly emotionally in my body. And what I saw was a group of animals, and it was symbolic, like this is all metaphorical. These animals didn't look like a specific animal from Earth. They had kind of different qualities, and parts of their appearance matched different animals. So like if you can imagine like an elephant, but with like really soft velvety fur that was acting like a loyal dog and also had like long eyelashes and was able to cry. These animals, I could tell right away, had very refined nervous systems. They could feel and perceive, and even though they were still animals and they weren't speaking and thinking with words, they were taking in their environment, and they were aware and feeling what was going on Earth as far as environmental destruction, the hearts of many people growing cold at this time. They were in the presence of children in the vision, and the children felt very safe with them. If one of the children became hurt, these beings really would become emotional. They had the ability to cry. And I watched them, and I could really feel their empathy, and I could really sense how much they cared for the balance of people and the balance of the earth. And they seemed to be really struggling to be existing on Earth at the time of the vision, Earth being in a lower vibrational, often difficult place to be. They were struggling. I could really feel their suffering because they were feeling what was going on in the energy field, but in a big way, more than most humans. And so often when I see visions that have symbols like this, I will ask my inner guidance. So while I was in that, I asked the guidance, what am I seeing? You know, like, Grandmother Ayahuasca, what are you showing me? And I was being shown that these mammals, these animals, they represented the highly sensitive people, the often introverted, highly sensitive people who are on Earth at this time, who are feeling a lot, that are having big feelings about what's going on, maybe with their family, their environment, nature, and that these animals represented a group of people that are incarnated on Earth at this time, and that they might not all have the purpose of, getting out there and shouting from the rooftop and, making radical changes and moving mountains. A big part of their purpose is to bring balance to their environment, bring balance to their family, bring balance to their workplace, and that they are a soft landing, that they might not see themselves as a soft landing the way, but other people, they feel safe around people like this. They feel understood, they feel heard, they feel listened to. And when, one of those, people come in contact with one of these highly sensitive people represented by these animals in the vision, they're experienced as a gift. They're experienced as a gift. And if you identify with that, if that's resonating for you and you're in that group of highly sensitive people, this is just a reminder. This is just a reminder for you that the most important thing for you to be doing is holding yourself in the most even, balanced frequency that you can, taking good care of yourself and taking the timeouts that you need to take so that you can serve in this way that you came to serve in, and just to remember to recognize just how refined your nervous system is, just how much you pick up on. And a lot of it isn't pretty. A lot of it isn't pretty. And it's not so that you're not coming in like this in order to suffer. You're coming in like this in order to understand on some very deep levels what's going on around you, how people are suffering, and then in order to ultimately respond in a way that is understanding. And it doesn't mean always responding. It means, responding when you're well enough and balanced enough to respond. But the more balanced that you make yourself, the more you put a priority to keeping yourself balanced, then you can show up in your role, then you can serve, then you can really be on purpose.